I'm a father of a sickle cell patient. He was diagnosed of sickle cell at the age of 7 months. Persons with sickle cell disease are suffering. Unfortunately, they are dying in silence.
Should somebody wait for symptoms to actually know the genotype of their children?
Other big part of what we do, testing. And don't test on your genotype when you're already, in a state of almost getting married, because it's too late.
Well, often people mistake genotype with blood group.
That's not the same.
I'm guilty.
In Ghana, approximately yearly, about 16 to 18,000 children are born with the disease. In Ghana, 16 to 18,000 are born with the disease. And if I tell you the rates that make it past the age of 5, I'm not sure, we can continue with this program.
Like you just said, I know someone with sickle cell, and now I start to realize that's how it goes on social media too. Every time we go on social media, people approach us and say, oh, but I have this cousin, or I have a brother, or I have, but also the sad side, people telling us, I lost my sister, or I lost my niece to this disease. It's not always easy to talk about it.
Look, guys, financial, emotional, psychological effects. Imagine seeing your mom, okay, not even like your parents, say seeing your child in pain, severe pain that keeps increasing, and you can't help the person.
If Sean was to be here, what would be his last words? You are welcome to The Diary, a space where we uncover stories of extraordinary courage and resilience. In today's episode, we dive into the world of sickle cell, a condition that not only shaped the lives of those who live with it, but also the families that walk alongside them throughout their life. In today's episode, we are going to be having a discussion with Larry and Simona about their journey with Sean, and then how Sean helped bring about their foundation, and how you also can learn more about sickle cell, how to prevent it or how to avoid it. And if you are somebody who already living with sickle cell, or with somebody who is a sickle cell patient, what are some of the do's and don'ts you should learn from them, and so much more. Therefore, let's go into the diary of Larry and Simona and Sean, even though he's not here, to learn more about this. You are welcome to the diary.
Thank you.
But first of all, I would like to start with you, Larry. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and the Simona Ephraim Foundation, so that we can kickstart from there.
Okay, so thank you once again. My name is Larry Mensah, and I'm a father of a sickle cell patient. Sean is my son. He was diagnosed of sickle cell at the age of 7 months, thereabouts. He was a baby, and it was quite a heavy blow to us. His mom and I, we had to struggle with coming to terms with that health challenge. And since then, it's been from one hospital to the other, much of complications and other things set in. But thankfully, with the new treatment in place, he's much better now. And it's for this reason we said, okay, Simona and I thought of the wish of Sean, who always asks how other people who don't have the means, the financial means to go through it, how would they survive? So he asked if I could partner with Simona so that we could bring help to the people out there. That is how it all came about. And by then Sean was about 10 years old.
Oh.
And he asked for this. It's unfortunate he can't be with us, but this whole week we've had programs and activities, and he still needs to be in school. So that's why he's not with us at the moment.
Oh, that's interesting. And Simona, I also welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Based on what he said, I'm a little bit curious to learn. First of all, what's your relationship with Sean?
I came to Ghana last year, and that was my first time meeting Sean. I already met him a lot online by video calls because I had a project running in Ghana where I met a lot of people, among them Larry, and he introduced me to Sean. Basically, when he was in the hospital with a crisis, he said, please, this is my son. He's at the hospital at the moment. Can you distract him a little bit? Try and talk with him. So that's how I met Sean about 2 years ago online. And last year I met him for real. And that's also when the plans we already had for this foundation started to get more real.
That's interesting. But before the Simona Ephraim Foundation, is there any other sort of foundation that you've maybe worked with, or
not when it comes to sickle cell? No,
not one from sickle cell. This is the first sickle cell foundation.
Yes, wow. Sickle cell is not really a known disease, sickness in Europe or in the Netherlands, where I'm from, other than from people from West Africa living in the diaspora. So for me, it was something completely new. So when Sean did a video call with me, being in the hospital, I had no idea what was happening to him. So he, being sick, being in very severe pain, tried to explain to me, this is what it is. This is what sickle cell does to someone. That's how.
I can personally relate, because I have a sickle cell cousin, and I can tell you, growing up, we all had no idea what was really wrong with him. He had to, I think he was around 25 years old before we actually found out that all this while that we were struggling with him, it was sickle cell.
Yeah.
What are some of the Larry, what are some of the symptoms someone can maybe look out for? Because I know our people, we just scared to do that kind of genotype test before we even get married or someone. So if you're already into it, what are some of the symptoms you should look out for to know that your son could be a sickle cell carrier? Or should somebody wait for symptoms to actually know the genotype of their children?
Okay, so let me start with the symptoms. The main symptoms. They often have yellowish eyeballs. They have pains in their joints. All their joints, they have pains. And they also suffer from severe pains at the back. And when they try to lift things, they find it difficult. These are the very basic and few symptoms. When they pee, their urine is often dark. So they need to take in more water, always. More water. Yeah, more water. And you might see the person very strong, moving about, jumping, playing. In the next second, he or she might be quiet. You should know something is happening. And often they are not able to bring out the pain then. So they shelve it. They shelve it for a while until it's severe. So when you realize, especially young children, suddenly they become quiet, moody, don't want to talk, don't want to play. Their eyes become
yellowish.
They complain of pains in their joints. Then you should know there's something really happening.
Wow. I wish I knew this. Because as you were saying, I could actually see the pictures of my kids. And sometimes when we go out and we play football, the next day is just off. And then we go to the hospital and they ask him, which part of you is paining? He just said my knees and things. And funny enough, the hospitals never really suggest for us to check his genotype to see probably if he's sickle cell. Why do you think that is the case?
It's because we least think of it. Unfortunately, sickle cell is thought to be a spiritual thing.
That's what we thought.
Yeah. People think...
So we kept looking for herbal states.
And people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we had to visit someone who is a mother of 3. 2 out of the 3 kids are sickle cell. Wow. And she didn't even want us to come to her home wearing a t-shirt, which would tell people we have to do with sickle cells. Yeah. She doesn't want anyone to know any of her kids have this condition.
She just moved to another place because of her 2 girls being stigmatized. So she just moved. She said, please don't come with anything that shows that you are a Sickle Cell Foundation, because then everything will start again.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
So this is how the system is like.
It's a general issue.
Yeah, and we need to sensitize it.
Yeah. It's a general issue because I can quite remember, even though I was very young, I can quite remember what we used to say was, some of the family members have done you the child juju.
Yeah.
And this is spiritual attack. So we kept going from one herbal medicine to another until when we actually found out sickle cell. And I can't remember the last time he felt sick. Because now he's mature enough, he knows the do's and don'ts. So this actually brings me to my next question. So you and Sean decided to embrace the situation, and you actually went public with the situation.
Yeah.
Even though I know the main genesis of the Simona Ephraim Foundation is because Sean thought of others who are also facing these issues from the financial, let's say, spectrum. But I think there is a whole lot more. You as a father, why did you go public with this?
People need help in terms of what to do, what not to do. Just as you said, the information is not out there. Mm-hmm. We are based in Ghana with this foundation, but trust me, we get a lot of calls from outside. People from Nigeria, people from Tanzania, South Africa, they all need help. As to, my son is sick, my mom is not well, I think it's sickle cells. What do I do? Where do I go? Being an association, we belong to some other associations, and we have the links to other countries, and we are able to help them through that. We are able to say, okay, speak with this person, but before you call the person, do A, B, C. What are the measures you put in place? Let him some water. Let him feel relaxed. Calm him down. In the morning, what do you do? Folic acid. These are some of the basic things that, I mean, anyone with sickle cells has to take.
Yeah.
Every morning.
You can't cure it, but you can try
to control how much it has impact on you.
Yes.
So, Simona, I can tell it's been almost or just about a year since you started with the Simona Ephraim Foundation. How would you say your 1-year experience running and managing it feels like in Ghana? Because I feel like at this moment, it's not really about Sean alone. You have touched, and you are still touching a lot of lives out there. How would you put that for us?
Yes, it is about Sean, because we need to look into his future. So part of what we do is looking into how can we help him to move along, to find an education and a job that will fit within his condition, within the energy he has to spend, basically. So that's part of it, because if we look into his future, we look into a lot of other future lives from children suffering with this disease. So That's one. But the other is on social media we speak a lot about this disease. And since for me it's not a stigma, for Larry it's not a stigma, so we talk about it very easily. And even with the help of Sean, speaking about everything that's happening with his life and with his condition, and bringing that one out to social media like we do on Facebook, on Insta, on TikTok, or wherever we go to YouTube, it makes it more easy for other people to talk about it. When we speak easily and say, okay, this is what it is, and this is how we can kind of educate you on what to do in your daily life, in your lifestyle, or on schools who needs to be a little bit more sometimes aware of what their students can and cannot do. If you talk about that one, like you just said, I know someone with sickle cell, and now I start to realize that's how it goes on social media too. Every time we go on social media, people approach us and say, oh, but I have this cousin, or I have a brother, or I have, but also the sad side, people telling us, I lost my sister, or I lost my niece to this disease. It's not always easy to talk about it, but by now we see the impact it has, and we see how more easy it becomes to talk about it as long as we are open about it. So that's for the last year basically what changed a lot, being open.
I'm really impressed with Sean. I would lie to you. I've seen some of the interviews he's granted, and I mean, at his age, I'm really impressed. You've done a great job, because somebody would have actually even feel scared to come out and talk about it, but I can tell he has embraced it, and I think he's doing great. About the kind of jobs somebody living with sickle cell should or shouldn't do. I wish you can shed some light on that, and why should people living with sickle cell be selective about the type of jobs they should do?
Okay, so when you have that health challenge, sickle cells, you are not supposed to engage in certain activities that will be strenuous. For instance, football. Sean loves to play football. He's good at it. With him and his brothers, they are always playing football. They love it. But unfortunately, he can't continue to play football because he needs to be running. He already doesn't have enough energy. So he needs to conserve the energy left. And besides, when you engage in these strenuous activities, they may put you into the condition of having crisis. So they are being advised not to lift heavy things, not to be running here and there. So any job that involves energy, in terms of physical energy, being a mason, being a carpenter, those kind of things you cannot engage in for your meal. And as a result of that, we from the foundation thought of, after we've helped you with the do's and don'ts to know what to do to take care of yourself, after we've helped you with the right channel for health and other things, and there are times we even come in to support persons with these conditions. After all that, do we leave you to go back there and engage in the activities that will let you have the crisis again? No.
Yeah.
So we give the human a resource skill. We train them how to acquire skills in IT, the AI. We have partnered with
AI Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are doing so much.
Yeah.
Giving them the knowledge in AI.
Yeah. but also it gives us another opportunity because other than training them in this IT, in AI, which is for sure something that we will all notice in our daily life, it will also give us, well, let's call it a little bit simple, an app in which we are able to put all the information we want to be out there. So whoever comes to us and says, okay, we need some more information, we can direct them to the app. And one of the good things about it is, because it's still a stigma, you can go anonymous to this app and search for all the information you want to have, interact with us or with other sickle cell warriors or with people who are there. Even if you want to do it anonymously, it's not a problem because the app will be organized in this way that it will always be how you want to approach us, not how we want you to approach us. No, you are leading when you come to this app. So for us, for the foundation, it will give a lot of opportunity to educate, to direct people to the way to, for instance, the hospitals you can go to where they have expertise in sickle cell, or to the pharmacies where they have the medicine, because that's also not the pharmacy around the corner. You have to travel sometimes far away to find the medicine for sickle cell. So it will give us so much opportunity. So it's actually on two. We train them in a profession that they are able to do with their sickness, and it gives us the opportunity to unite, to educate, to, well, have a platform where we can meet everyone who needs to know this.
That's great. I feel like we are not doing enough because I hardly see information about sickle cell on the televisions. Yeah. Unless one is the month. We have a specific month where we make the noise, you see the posters, and then after that, it's
Quite in June.
That's it. After that, it's gone. You don't hear about sickle cell again until the following year. Let's say you have 5 minutes with the Minister of Ghana's Health. Mm-hmm. What would be one policy change you will ask from him? Either something that can improve, or just in a way positively push the agenda for distributing information, getting rid of that stigmatization and so on. How would your conversation go like?
You see, she's yours. Because we have a lot to tell him. Now, let me look at him.
Please look at him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Persons with sickle cell disease are suffering. Unfortunately, they are dying in silence. Policies should be made to support them. The national health, unfortunately, not just in Ghana, in the other countries as well. For instance, here in Ghana, okay, let's come to Ghana because I believe at this point I'm talking to the Honorable Minister of Health. You have prescriptions to go get some meds. It's not all the medications that are supported with the current scheme at the health insurance. And even with those that are supported, there are specific pharmacies that are permitted to sell to you. You can't use your health insurance to go to any pharmacy that accepts the health insurance for you to be served. So supposing you live in Pram, honestly, we don't know of some of these facilities there, but the well-known facilities that serve these on sickle cells are all the way in Accra. Then you need to travel to Accra. When you get there, you are told these specific brands are what are permitted to be sold on the health insurance. We are out of it. So please, if it could be made in a way that all pharmacies that serve on the health insurance can give medications to persons who come in search of help. Please, if we can do that, that's one. Also, the labs and other things that they have to run constantly at the hospital are not covered by health insurance. If those two things can be taken care of, I think it will go a long way in easing the burden, because already care givers for persons living with sickle cell disease, SCD, are being, for the lack of a better word, stressed. And when they need to access these facilities too, they need to go through so much, and they're not always said. So please, if these two things can be taken care of, I believe persons living with sickle cells will be so much grateful. Thank you.
That's just 3 minutes, so maybe share the 2 more minutes.
May I share 2 minutes?
Yeah.
No, politics is always about prevention. And that's the other big part of what we do. Testing. And don't test on your genotype when you're already, in a state of almost getting married, because it's too late. You need to be tested before. You need to know your genotype, because if you know your genotype, you know whether to have children or not might lead to a child with sickle cell disease. And if you've seen the stories, if you've seen Sean's stories, you will know that's something you really don't want. So it starts with prevention, and that's where politics comes in. Please promote, help us with a lab, help us with the tests, help us to get the youth to start do their testing on genotype.
I think it should actually become a law in Ghana that you must know your genotype before you get married.
Well, there's something like that. The churches and other institutions do that. Yeah. But at what point?
Too late.
When it's a week, 2 weeks, a month for you to tie the knot, then at that point, you would definitely go beyond what they say.
Yes. You might actually fake it.
Yeah.
So this brings us back to Simona's point. You shouldn't wait until you're getting married. We're about to get married. In fact, each and every one of us here should already know their genotype.
Yeah. Like someone said last week during the Sickle Cell Day, it's nice to know the favorite week of your girlfriend and the shoe size of your boyfriend. And maybe you should know a little bit more.
Genotype as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Often people mistake genotype with blood group.
That's not the same.
I'm guilty.
They mistake it for the blood group. So you talk to them about yes, I know my genotype. After 2 minutes, you say, okay, can you from your genotype? AA.
That's a blood group.
And then
blood, yeah. Yeah, that's the blood group.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me say this. In Ghana, approximately yearly, about 16 to 18,000 children are born with the disease. In Ghana, 16 to 18,000 are born with the disease. And if I tell you the rates that make it past the age of 5, I'm not sure, we can continue with this program.
About 5%. So imagine how many children die.
I have lived with. You just made me remember. I actually forgot about them.
Yeah.
But you just made me remember. I have lived with actually 4 sickle cell carriers. They actually are more like my uncles, children of my grandfather. And the first one, Aisha, she died around 3 years old. And the elder one was the one who died, I think around 4 to 5 years old. And it was after they passed away that my grandfather actually found out that his genotype and the wife's genotype don't listen, because they gave birth to two, and all the two were carriers. Yes.
Imagine the suffering of the children.
So they actually have to go through divorce because of that.
Imagine the suffering of the children, of the families, of the siblings.
It was really hard on us.
Yeah.
It was really hard on us.
A lot.
And I think if they had done the necessary checkups to know their genotype before they got married, it would have prevented the loss of lives.
No, and the effect it has on families, you just don't want to go there. Look, guys, financial, emotional, psychological effects. Imagine seeing your mom, okay, not even like your parents, say seeing your child in pain, severe pain that keeps increasing, and you can't help the person. I mean, you can help the person. If it comes to bringing the pain down, it's just too much. So
that's why Sean urged on this foundation, and that's why we do it with everything we have, because it's needed. It's really needed.
I remember hearing something from a friend who actually found out that he's a carrier, and then the woman who was getting married to was also a carrier. And then they were still willing to go through with the marriage. They were like, love over everything. Please, what is your advice to couples who choose love over?
Well, then you have to make sure that your bank account is loaded.
I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah, because one, that can be done in the developed world, but they need to really, really edit your cells.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's actually editable.
Yeah.
That must be really expensive.
It's expensive. Currently, there are treatments for sickle cells in the West, but it's expensive.
Think about bone marrow transplant, these kind of,
Yes.
It's very extremely expensive.
There is massive issue happening in Africa. I think it's a bit, I don't know, orthodox probably or not, I really don't know. But then what I'm talking about is I do see a lot of articles out there about how some wild animals have maybe some parts of them, maybe their horns, the elephants and the rhinos and so on, said to have the cure or said to treat cancer. I don't know how true that is. And if it is something your foundation also maybe educate people about, because I see it as a massive issue the UN is actually fighting about. We need to prevent this. They're actually facing an existential threat at the moment. Okay. Is it true really? Does it cure cancer?
Okay, so we don't know about it technically. We've also heard of all these, but hey, as you put in the measures, these measures, you should also use the other side of it, so that no matter what happens, you are safe. It's a win-win for you. It's better for you to say, I'm trying A and B at the same time. If A works, good. B works, good. But we know for sure that the trend on which, or the path that we are prescribing will surely work for you. But if you don't believe in it, we still say, give it a try.
Yeah, and let us know.
Yeah.
Keep us informed. I mean, we look at all information. That's what we do. We gather all the information we can. And if it works for you. But for now, we need to rely as much as we can on what we hear from doctors, from hospitals, because those are the ones who did an extensive research already. So that's little bit of policy we have.
Okay, guys, this has been a very educating to myself. I've learned a whole lot about sickle cell. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we are going to learn more about the Ephraim Foundation, some of the amazing people, corporate bodies they are partnered with that are making all of this possible, and a whole lot more. Therefore, stick and stay. Welcome back to the diary. Simona and Larry, before we continue, I would like to first of all say you guys are doing an amazing job. God bless you, and may God give you more strength and wisdom to keep doing this good job. In this section of our conversation, I want to focus a bit more on the foundation. So probably you talk a lot. So probably I should start with Simona here. I know I've asked a little bit about that, but then I want to know how does this journey look like, or has it looked like so far from a financial perspective?
It's hard. You start with a lot of investment you do yourself, and then you start slowly with setting up the programs you really want to set up. You start looking for sponsors to help with your foundation to do, for instance, a financial contribution, or like last week with Sickle Cell Day, we had this Iceman refrigerator company who was telling us, listen, if we put 2 refrigerating, cooling, filtered systems, water systems at schools who have a lot of sickle cell patients, would that help? So we said, yes, of course it would help. So it's that's not a financial contribution, but it is a contribution that really helps us in showing people, please, this is how your lifestyle can be improved by using all the water you drink, because you need to drink a lot of water as a sickle cell patient. It is at least filtered, cooled, refreshed. Those are contributions we are really looking for. We're going to Kumasi for a sports event. That gives us the opportunity to do a lot of testing, or to at least promote to do the testing. We're still looking for financial contributions to buy the machine Larry talked about earlier, a machine that will help us do more testing and do more lab results in a quicker and faster way. We look for finance for these testing days to bring someone with us who can help when you have a result out of your testing that you didn't expect. It's not an easy one to hear, hey, you're a carrier, or hey, you might even have sickle cell disease. It would be really nice if we can bring some counseling with us to these kind of projects. So for the last year, we have been looking not only for finance, but also for, people who want to partner up with us. Like this coffee company who said, okay, might not be the best product for sickle cell to use, because when you drink coffee, you use a lot of energy. That's not. But what about the parents who take care of them? Believe me, they need it sometimes.
You need the energy.
You need the energy. So we look in so many different ways for people who want to partner with us. And well, the AI Africa is one of the biggest opportunities for us when it comes to education. There are so many different ways of looking at partnering with the foundation and trying to raise money for the foundation, or trying to raise products for the foundation that we can use.
So just so you know, this is what the coffee she's talking about. I wish I can get the blue one. I think that's more visible. This is the coffee she's talking about. Gold coast roasted.
Roasters.
And you know, just like she said, it's not
Contextual.
it's not really necessarily that it's good for people living with sickle cell, because when you take coffee, it's going to make you want to work a whole lot. But then the people who like are behind the background, taking care of them, they need that energy. What's my point here? When it comes to support for sickle cell, all right, it doesn't have to be financial only or medical. I mean, in your own way, whichever way possible you think you can support this cause, I think you can do it just like the way good coast roasters have done. So if somebody is interested in working with you or sponsoring the Simona Ephraim Foundation,
Yes.
I believe you don't have to always do reaching out. Sometimes some people also do reach out. So, Larry, how can somebody reach out?
Okay, so via phone, via WhatsApp, email, social media. Our phone line, our phone number is 050 281144. 050 281144. It's also the same number for WhatsApp. And then if you want to write an email to us, it is Simona Ephraim
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. The Simona is SIMONAEPHRAIM dot
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. Yeah.
Do you currently have a website?
Not yet. That's one
foundation.
under construction.
That's currently under
yeah,
construction.
yeah.
Okay.
So we are working really hard on that one because we want to launch it good.
Yeah, because I believe that's also one medium that people can easily reach out. Because like the way you were saying, some people still suffer from stigmatization and they don't feel like coming out openly to talk about it. But then maybe they still want to learn more. So I believe
Please
the
look for our
website
social media handles. It's very easy. When we often when we are on social media, it is somehow coming up as a discussion. Not always that we look for it, but it comes up as a discussion. And it's very easy to join us on social media because it's anonymous if you want. You can just listen.
Yeah.
That's fine. And if you want to be involved, you're always welcome. It's a very open way of discussing with people. So please look for our social media handles. It's always Simona Ephraim, whether there's a foundation added to it or not. But that's, if you look for Simona Ephraim, you will always find us on social media.
If I have learned one thing here, is that it is hard, first of all, to live with sickle cell as the patient or the carrier yourself. And it's a bit emotionally difficult, really. But then one thing I would take from this is it's not the end of the world. For you, if you find out that you are sickle cell, it doesn't mean the end of the world for you. There are things you can follow and you still live a long, healthy life if you follow that. Do you think somebody with sickle cell can get married?
Sure.
Or marriage is out of the picture for you?
I mean, you can be married, get married, you can make babies, but you should know how.
How to do it.
Tell me more about the how.
Okay, so it comes back to knowing your
Genotype, but then I mean, you already know you are SS, so you fully care.
yeah. So when you have the disease, you are an SS. Your partner should not be an SS. Your partner should
You know you don't have an S.
yeah,
I think I get it now.
and your partner should not even have the C. We have S, we have C and others. So if your partner is an AS, the tendency or probability of you having an SS baby is very high.
Because she's a carrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have an SS, ideally, your partner should not be
7 years.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so the bottom line
there's
is,
always a risk.
yes, so the bottom line is a sickle cell patient can actually get married, but just make sure you don't marry a carrier, somebody who have S or C in their genotype, but anything else, absolutely
An
no.
SS can be with AA, but not with anyone who has an S in it.
In it. Okay. So when you have with A, probably what can go worse is you give it to a carrier. That's okay, which is AS and so on. That's okay. Okay, that's great. But then back to the sponsorship thing. Are you only looking for sponsors in Ghana or anywhere in the world? And do you currently have sponsors that are not in Ghana?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that, please.
Okay.
Yes, we have.
So we thought we were taking care of sickle cells in Ghana, but now it's not. It's gone beyond.
Yes.
It's gone beyond Ghana. So if we have someone from outside the shores of Ghana coming in to help, he's welcome. If someone is outside the shores of Ghana and also needs help, the person is welcome to reach us. We are not here only to, those who need help also can reach us on our social media handles and then our phone lines as well. Currently, we have some institutions who have come on board to support
Gold Coast is one of them.
Coast. Yeah. And then the Iceman refrigerator services in Tema.
Yeah. Africa. You see, it's very basically it's very simple. Because of social media, the world is becoming more open. So not even being in Ghana, having or knowing someone with sickle cell is drawing attention. But there are a lot of West Africans living outside, and whether you're in Germany or in UK or in the Netherlands, you start to get knowing people who have sickle cell or who have lost people to sickle cell or who have family members with sickle cell. So the world is getting more bigger, and the attention to this disease is getting there also from outside Ghana. And we notice that we get support now from people, let's say from Germany, not Ghanaian at all, but knowing Ghanaians with this disease or having, like Larry, children with this disease, and they reach out to us and say, listen, how can we support you? Even if it is small, can we support? So it's because of social media, basically at this point, that it starts to become bigger and bigger.
In our conversation, you made mention of how some of the medicines are not even available here in Ghana, that you may have to actually go outside to get those medicines. Let's say we have a pharmaceutical body somewhere that wants to also invest and sponsor the Simona Ephraim Foundation by providing those medicines and making them available. Do you have the necessary certifications or accreditations to accept that kind of things, or who do you think can come on board and make that possible for you?
Okay, so if anyone from the field of
medicine
wants to support, it's so easy. Just reach out to us. We would help through the Ministry of Health and other state institutions to have the right certification. Yeah. And also, I wish to say a big thank you to and the Department of Sickle Cell at 37 Military Hospital.
Yeah.
They are so amazing. Dr. Sheila and the others, they are so amazing because they have so much attention for each child who comes in there, so much attention. They would even call to have follow-ups to know how your child is doing. They are so amazing.
Wow.
And we really appreciate it.
So the question you just asked, as in, what if some medical support would come? We would always check with the doctor, with the hospital, as in, how can we handle this from here? Because we are no doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give you any medical advice. I will never even do it, but they can. So that's why it's just, a foundation is not only looking for sponsors or money, or you always try to connect with the right people to know what to do. And that's why we are so grateful for this hospital, because they really help us.
I'm also impressed to actually hear that, generally in Ghana, we don't really give credit to our public hospitals. We are always kind of on the... So to hear it from you, it means you've actually experienced a great deal. There's a lot actually.
Yeah, amazing.
So big ups to
So
them.
many of them, and they are amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Yeah.
This is educating. I think a lot of people out there can actually learn a whole lot more just by connecting with this Simona Ephraim Foundation. Just in summary, how does your next calendar look like? What are some of the events or activities that you're going to be undertaking from here? I want to know which one I should attend.
Kumasi.
Yeah.
When is that one coming on?
This Sunday.
That's
We tell me 29th of June.
29th of June. Yeah.
This Sunday.
Yes.
I believe you're not going to do something about it. I believe you're not going to do something about it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, let's see. Then after the Kumasi, what else?
After the Kumasi, the calendar is not completely set yet, but that has a little bit to do with the fact that I return to the Netherlands next week. So we try to do a lot of activities in last week and this week. But Larry is here and he will do a lot of educational programs. I think one of the first one is to go to, we have a couple of schools we are going to, or at least Larry is going to, because I will be returning then.
I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
And hey, we have other things in the pipeline that we are looking towards. We are looking towards to acquire our lab.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
That will have the lab on a vehicle. Yeah, a lab
On the vehicle.
on a vehicle.
Oh,
It's only, if you see the machine, it's...
it's not that big.
No! I thought so the first time. It's not that big.
On the vehicle. Wow.
So the machine is one, but we are also looking at the vehicle itself that has all the other
Yeah. Make it mobile.
mobile.
So we can travel.
So can travel with it, have screening and other tests done for persons with sickle cells. Warriors, they are just amazing.
We don't want to stay just in Kumasi or just in Accra. We want to go further away, as in Takoradi, as in...
So you are always
So
on
many
the road,
places.
moving from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other.
I don't know, like, have you reached out to any people that you think can help with regards to the, let's say, the machine and then the vehicle to support, move it around?
Okay, so
We had so many meetings already for that one. Yeah.
But no
I
one
was
has
on the-
fully come on board with regards to that yet. And
We try. That's one of the things we really worked hard on for the last couple
Is
of
there any sort of fundraising that you do, like once in a while? Do you do any sort of like fundraising? And then how can people come on board to help? Because sometimes when you say sponsorship, people feel like, they need
Huge
big money. I don't have it.
No,
But when you do fundraising, I feel like somebody's 100, 500,000 cities,
we're already
they can come and give it. And so I don't know, you do something like that.
that's what we do on social media from time to time already. But basically wait for the website also to be finished.
That's where the roadside and the mobile app can actually play a very important role.
Until a couple of weeks ago, it was self-funded. And then a few friends came on board. Nem in US, Vicky, Leo,
Scotland. It's all over the world. Really, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds Germany.
Germany,
and those are not big sponsors. Those are the ones who help us with, even if it is €5 or 100 cedis. It is what we do. We go with that money to, for instance, the woman with her 2-3 children, to sickle cell, to help her, because even those €10 or 100 cedis, it's for her. It's the difference between getting medicines or not. So yeah, that's where we are grateful with everything we can get.
and also we have a few persons within the country. I don't know whether he would want his name to be mentioned. Albert. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Albert. And some others as well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm really interested in this, and I don't know how IBG Studios can also come on board and support. So, Joey, this is what we do. We are more into media. That's why the winner was asking about the mobile application website, because we also offer our services in those spaces.
That would be great.
So, after this, let the conversation with Helena continue.
All right, thank you.
Whichever way possible we can help, without from disseminating the information, covering up events, and probably even the website. I don't know if you started it. If you haven't started it, even probably the website, the designer is sitting just right there, and the mobile applications. Whichever way you think we can help, can we communicate with Helena? Because I feel like this is massive.
Thank you.
This is massive. And if you're out there that you want support, like I said, it's not really you must have a huge amount of money. Even your one cedi can go a long way to make a positive impact on someone's life out there. You gave me your number and your email address, but you didn't give me your social media handles.
All the social media handles start with Simona Ephraim Foundation. So if you look it up on your head,
Ephraim. That's helpful.
So it's Simona.Ephraim.4. Oh, okay. Apple. Okay.
So Simona.Ephraim.fo.
Okay.
Father Simona Ephraim.
Okay. We'll actually add it in the.
You will always see this logo on the social media handle, so you know. Okay, I'm not the right one.
We are on
Facebook,
IG. Yeah.
Okay. You guys have already said a lot. Okay, I want to close our program, but then I have one last question to ask.
Ask her.
Actually, you don't see this one coming. I'm asking the two of you. So, the reason I say what you say a lot, I would have asked you what are your last words. But I'm not going to ask you what are your last words. I want to ask you individually, if Sean was to be here, what would be his last words? So I'll start with you.
Sean is a quiet type, but he's a deep thinker. So his last words would be, let's help persons living with sickle cells. And his,
What do you think?
I know what really goes deep for him is the fact that for the last so many years, he did not spend his Christmas at home. He always spent it in the hospital. And last year was the first time he spent it at home.
In 7 years.
In 7 years. So we spoke about it, and for sure it would be, please give them the opportunity to spend Christmas at home.
Wow. That's powerful. How about me something?
No, you did not.
All right. So
maybe you missed something.
I don't know if I missed something. So that's funny.
Simona Ephraim Foundation.
We care.
We care.
Care.
And we
Okay.
truly
Yeah,
care.
but it's true.
Okay. Yeah. So this has been all I have for you right now. Join us next week for another amazing discussion. It could actually be the same Simona Ephraim Foundation. I'm going to try and see if I can go to Kumasi. And then we can see how it is going to play out. Thank you so much. Once again, we are going to close this episode with Simona Ephraim Foundation. We care on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Simona Ephraim Foundation. We care.